What's good, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new episode of me watching the weirdest and cringiest videos on the internet. Which, without further ado, let's get to the video. Hope you enjoy this episode. And before we start, just a quick little warning. Don't believe everything you see on the internet, and also get ready because there might be a lot of weird and cringy things in this video. Hope you enjoy. Let's get to it.
This is why you should never go to the bathroom during the middle of the night. In 1997, a 7-year-old boy and his younger brother had a habit of using the bathroom during the middle of the night. One day, the younger brother said that he was going to start using the bathroom before bed because the past few nights he'd seen a ghost wearing stripes in the middle of the hallway. The older brother told his mom about the ghost, but she claimed that the younger brother was simply trying to scare him. 11 years later, the older boy's mother asked him if he remembered the time that the cops came to the door, but he had no idea what she was talking about. The mother then explained, "You were too young for me to tell you, but one night I woke up and heard noises coming from outside my window. I looked to my left and saw a man staring into my window." She called the cops and described him as a thin white male wearing a striped shirt. Her description matched that of a murderer who had recently escaped from prison. The police reported that he had been living in the house for weeks.
I mean, what can I say? That murderer looks like one of them zombies in Michael Jackson's Thriller video. Like, did he escape from the set? Who is this guy?
Daisy, Daisy,
Give me your answer, do.
I'm half crazy.
All for the love of you.
Cban Legends caught on camera. The rape. How different animals look when wet. Koala. Sloth. Snow monkey. Owl. Cat. Rabbit. Hamster. Dog. Squirrel.
I mean, I was about to say something because them pictures were looking crazy as hell, but yeah, he definitely picked the worst pictures on the internet. I mean, they don't actually look that bad. I mean, just go back and look at them. What's that?
How long has it been since these things happened in the world? Firstly, believe it or not, but the last time an asteroid has impacted Earth was just 42 days ago, when a small asteroid was detected in Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. Next, the last time all of humanity was together on Earth and not in space was 8,804 days ago. That's way longer than I expected. Now, the last time an earthquake happened, as I'm recording this, was just 15 minutes ago. It was small, but surprisingly, on average, there's around 55 earthquakes each day. Moving on, according to online resources, the last time a nuclear weapon was launched was 13,030 days ago. Finally, the last time a GTA game was released was 4,100 days ago, and yet still no GTA 6.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. While a cruise ship was tilting for more than 5 minutes, they played My Heart Will Go On from the movie Titanic. A 21-year-old woman from Texas was charged for attempting to sell her newborn on Facebook Marketplace. A man actually attempted to rob a bank with only a pillowcase over his head forgetting to cut out the eye holes. A woman's driverless taxi was blocked by a man who was asking for her phone number. A boy that was abducted from California at age 6 has been found more than 70 years later. Goldfish changed its name to Chilean sea bass for 1 week to attract more adults. A couple in Australia actually came home to find a koala in their bed. A woman in New Orleans actually stole an ambulance that still had EMTs and a patient inside. A man who was declared brain dead woke up right before they started the surgery to donate his organs. After knocking on the wrong door in Ohio, an 80-year-old man was attacked by the resident with a machete, which then he pulled out nunchucks to defend himself.
I just don't get it. Like, why would these people play the Titanic theme song as the ship is sinking backwards? I mean, are you manifesting your own death? That's literally the last song you should play in a situation like this. But shit, do you, sis? I ain't gonna help you once you drown.
Nobody has been able to explain this creepy viral video. For the past 11 years, a man who runs a TikTok account by the name of Dude, My House is Haunted has been pretty confident that there has been some paranormal activity within his home. He claims that ever since his wife passed away, there have been some strange and unusual things going on. So eventually, he decided to leave cameras out and record what was happening and post it onto TikTok, which is the footage that you are about to see. In this video, you can see a chair seemingly moving on its own. It moves somewhat slowly until it suddenly is violently pulled into the corner by the kitchen. A mysterious, shadowy figure can be seen moving behind the chair, and then suddenly out of nowhere, the chair is thrown into the kitchen. Now, of course, we're not really sure what happened in this video, but I'm having a hard time coming up with an explanation for this one.
The man you just saw in that video jump into the water would never come back out alive. Identified only as Alexander online, this incident happened in Ukraine and was a part of the Epiphany ice bath celebrations. This is a tradition in countries like Russia, where Christians cut holes in ice and jump into icy cold rivers to cleanse themselves of sinful filth inside of blessed water. In 2022, 40-year-old lawyer Anna Uskova died from a similar incident. She jumped into the water, disappeared quickly into the darkness, and her body wasn't found. This man, Alexander, suffered a similar fate. He dug a hole in the ice using a chainsaw. He then asks his wife to film the video. He makes a cross on his chest, and then he jumps in. Sadly, even though they called for help right away and a rescue team was sent out, Alexander's body was lost under the ice in the icy water for over a day, but he was found the next day 70 feet away from the shore. He had plunged 13 feet below the ice and drowned in the cold waters. This is another just sad, tragic tale, and a horrific event that was sadly caught on camera.
I mean, yeah, regarding them people drowning, there's nothing much that I can say, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I've done this myself. But I guess I ain't gonna do it no more, because I ain't trying to be in one of them videos. I'd rather be the one reacting and doing them, you know? I don't want to be, man.
People are only just figuring out how bad this movie actually was. The horror classic The Shining released back in 1980 and since then has been one of the biggest horror movies of all time. But the amount of stuff that happened to the actors on set and the actual set is mind-blowing. I thought everybody knew this stuff, but for some reason it's resurfacing and everyone's going crazy. The most famous part of the film is what happened to actor Shelley Duvall. She literally went through hell whilst filming this movie. Everybody knows about the staircase scene. She was made to shoot 127 times. But as a result of all of these takes, her hands were shredded raw from holding the bat, her voice was gone, her eyes went extremely puffy from crying so much, and she left in an absolute mess. She was also reportedly treated extremely unfairly behind the scenes. She was isolated, lines were cut, she was constantly being looked down upon. More things I can't even say. The film's shooting was supposed to last 17 weeks but turned into nearly a whole year. The area in the maze where the chase scene was set was basically filled with gas all day, so people were made to wear gas masks reportedly. And one of the craziest things, near the end of production, a massive fire burnt down many of the sets. And I'm sure most people know about the other stuff. But let me know which one you want next.
These are terrifying things that scientists said could happen in the future. Up first, scientists said in 13,000 years, the Earth could be on its reversal axis, meaning that summer would become winter, and winter would become summer, which would cause just absolute havoc to any living thing on Earth. Next up, about 1 million years in the future, Earth will be drowning in lava. Earth will undergo a supervolcanic eruption, which would be devastating. Glass will then no longer exist on Earth, and the only thing that will possibly be standing is Mount Rushmore. Finally, in 10,000 years, scientists say majority of land on Earth will be covered in water. This is because the sea level will rise and just overflow onto the land. This is extremely scary, but good thing we won't be alive for it.
I mean, I was about to say, because why was my guy worrying about lava melting the Earth a million years from now? Because me and you both ain't gonna be here. Nah.
Various mythical creatures caught on camera.
I mean, the chupacabra was literally a burnt, hairless dog. I don't see how it's one of the most scary creatures on the planet. It's literally a stray dog. Or I may be wrong. I'm dumb sometimes.
Won't believe what this man was caught doing with a corpse. 46-year-old Randall Bird was caught doing inappropriate things to a corpse while he was working his shift as a security guard at the Banner University Medical Center in Phoenix. Randall's job was to bring deceased bodies to the hospital's morgue and slip them into the freezer. But during his shift, coworkers walked in on him and caught Randall inside the freezer with his zipper down, his uniform looking messy, and a body bag open. He was seen almost on top of the 79-year-old deceased woman, and when the workers walked in, he quickly tried to cover the body. The workers said that Randall looked so sweaty and nervous when they caught him, and his excuse was that he had a medical emergency and he almost passed out. His co-workers did not believe a single word and reported the incident. When Randall was interviewed by police a few days later, he basically just said the same story and said that he couldn't remember much of what happened. But not long after, investigators found his DNA on the woman's body, which proves that Randall was in fact doing what we all assumed. He was arrested and now faces multiple charges.
I mean, what can I say? My man's right here is all kinds of crazy. Like, what is you doing on an 80-year-old dead lady? I mean, that's straight disrespectful if you ask me.
And sing this little song. Run, 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 run.
Here's some tricks that give you power over your body. Part 2. If your arms ever fall asleep, all you have to do is just move your head around for a couple seconds and the feeling will go away. If you find it hard to swallow big pills, all you have to do is just lean your head forward when you're swallowing it. The pill should float to the back of your throat and be really easy to swallow. If you ever feel your body's gonna overheat from the scorching sun, just pour cold water over your wrists and your entire body should cool down. And when you're cutting onions, you could just move your tongue to the roof of your mouth to not cry.
The spirits in this house tried to lead me into a trap. This is one of the most haunted homes in Minnesota, the Warden's House in Stillwater. The spirits in this home are very active, especially if you ring this bell that was once owned by the minister pictured in the portrait above. During an investigation, somebody rang that bell and the portrait fell off of the wall, so of course we had to ring it. The history of this house is pretty interesting. It was lived in by 13 different wardens from a nearby prison, and multiple people have died inside of the home. But the most active part of this building is in the upstairs, specifically in the children's room. The legend of this house involves a woman named Gertrude. Gertrude gave birth to a child, but then shortly afterwards she died. And to this day, people report seeing her wandering the halls, especially upstairs, looking for her lost baby. There's a lot of creepy stuff in this house, like this outfit and actual locks of hair from the boy in the portrait that I just showed you. But the spookiest object is this doll. During our investigation, the tour guide actually had to go to the back room to bring this doll out. She told us that she keeps the doll in the very back of the house because it's so haunted. And in the past, she said the doll has typed out messages on people's phones. There's also this bed that a young man died in from tuberculosis. This is him in the portrait. So let me know, would you spend the night in this haunted house? Our full investigation from this place is on YouTube now.
My mans just asked me if I wanted to spend the night at this house. Hell no, why would I? I'll tell you what I would do. My viewers know this. Burn it. Anything that has to do with the paranormal, however you spell it, creepy stuff, is getting burned. I'm pouring gasoline everywhere. It's the only way to get rid of it. I mean, I think. I don't know. I mean, and also there was no reason for y'all to zoom in on that doll like this. I felt some type of way about them big blue eyes.
Freaking out after just realizing what happened on the Annabelle film set. Bet you 100 you didn't know this. I'm pretty sure most of you know who this doll is and the film she is from. Doesn't matter if you've seen the film or not, you probably know the main premise of the story. Now what most people know as well is that there is a real life Annabelle doll, doesn't look anything like the one in the film. But while the shooting of this film was taking place, some pretty bad things actually happened on the set. This was reported in the filming of every single one of the Annabelle films. Reportedly, the doll would randomly move. There would be lights flickering, plates and glasses smashing, completely randomly, which the producer and actors on set said they thought was just a complete prank, but no one ever owned up and still hasn't. Peter Starfin, the producer, came forward, said in particular there was one day where they were shooting the demon for the first time. The demon walks out and enters into the green room again. The entire ceiling of glass light features fell down and smashed on his head. Many other actors, as I say, claiming the doll would move, where apparently in one scene the crew were laughing because the doll just appeared in front of them, thinking one of the actors moved it, but the actors were not there and no one moved the doll.
This is one of the most disturbing and unexplainable autopsy reports I have ever seen. In 1988, in the Billings Reservoir in Sao Paulo, there was this urban legend of a body that showed up. It definitely happened, somebody did find it, however, the crime scene was pretty much closed within a day. Like, news reporters weren't talking about it, it wasn't in the press, so it became the stuff of legend. Then allegedly, in the mid-90s, somebody working in the government released photos and an autopsy report about that body. They are extremely graphic. Let me just explain to you how strange this corpse was. The body was found to have almost all of the skin surgically removed on the lower half of the face, specifically near the jaw. Eyes, eyelids, tongue, and one of the ears had also been surgically removed. Perfectly circular puncture wounds, like surgical holes in the body, which they determined the organs and some of the muscle had been sucked out of using some kind of device. To this day, there is really no verifiable explanation for what actually happened to this person. And
I mean, not to make a joke out of this, but I truly feel like it's probably Annabelle herself. I mean, who else but Annabelle? I mean, that's all she does. I mean, didn't y'all just hear she was going crazy on the movie set? It's her.
Curtain number 1 is correct.
Wait. You don't remember what she looks like?
What was the coolest way someone has died? Well, let me introduce you to this dude. This is Ben Solomon, and he was an army dentist for the United States during World War II. Since nobody really needed a dentist in the army, and one of the frontline surgeons got injured, Ben volunteered to be a frontline surgeon in a battle against Japan. During that battle, Ben was treating wounded soldiers inside the medical tent when he suddenly saw 2 Japanese soldiers run inside. The dentist immediately grabbed his bayonet and managed to kill them, but he realized that the defensive line had fallen, and soon the medical tent would be swarmed with Japanese soldiers. Ben immediately told the other medics to evacuate the wounded American soldiers, but he himself stayed behind. When the American soldiers returned to recapture the area around 15 hours later, they found his dead body slumped over a machine gun. However, they also found the bodies of 98 dead Japanese soldiers piled in front of him. Even though he was a dentist with no combat experience, he managed to have one of the greatest last stands in history.
I mean, I wouldn't say that 100 dead soldiers is something cool. I don't know why my man's is celebrating it, and I mean, what's the point of him killing 80 soldiers if he still died? Ain't nothing cool about death. But anyways, and not to be, not to sound racist or none, but my man's doing the TikTok is Asian. So I don't know why he's celebrating the death of Japanese soldiers. Man.
Oh my god.
So you have no idea what's on them?
How beautiful is this?
She isn't gone.
Look what she made me do.
It's not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
What was that? Amy, was that you?
I heard it. I heard something.
I think there's something here.
Do you see that?
Let me tell y'all something about these movies. Guess who ain't gonna be watching none of them? Me. Yes. I mean, why would I? I mean, if you want to go watch this, feel free to do so. I ain't going with you. I'm staying home.
Said that she missed her hair appointment, so she took her father's life because of it. On the morning of October 1st, 2021, 18-year-old Megan Amirowicz was busy preparing for her 18th birthday, which was going to take place at a hotel later that night. Since it was her 18th birthday, it was kind of a big deal for her, and she wanted to look her best, so she scheduled an appointment at a salon to get her hair done. As usual, her father, Conrad, was her chauffeur, and he was supposed to be taking her to this salon. Unfortunately for both of them, Conrad was a heavy drinker, and he had been drinking that early morning, so once he laid down on the couch, he ended up falling asleep. Megan tried her hardest to wake her father up, and then she realized that she was probably going to miss her appointment, and this made her blood boil. Instead of her calling an Uber to go to her destination, she decided to do something way different. Megan had grabbed a container of drain cleaner and poured it all over her father's body from head to toe. After that, then she doused him with water. Because of this combination, it caused a chemical reaction which burned away his skin. A short while later, one of Megan's friends arrived at the home. They took one look at Conrad and immediately called 911 in Oakland County, Michigan. Conrad was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He told the medical staff that his daughter was responsible for this whole thing, but later he told investigators that he had no memory of what had happened. As Conrad was fighting for his life in the ICU, the detectives were busy gathering evidence. Once they had spoke with family members, Megan was arrested and charged. Not long after, Megan was released after posting bail. Although Conrad had survived the initial attack, he had to have both of his legs amputated, his kidneys shut down, and he had damage to his lungs. On March 6, 2022, after 3 days of being removed from life support, Conrad had passed away from his injuries. The whole time that Conrad was in the hospital, they would not let Megan go see her father for his safety, and she was very upset by it. About a week later, on March 11th, Megan's bail was rescinded and the charges against her were upgraded to murder. She was immediately taken into custody and she had to stay there until her trial in June of 2023. Although Conrad wasn't the biological father of Megan, he loved her so much. She was the apple of his eye, and while he was laying in his deathbed, he still tried to protect her when the law came calling for her. But with all the evidence that investigators had, it pointed to Megan as the one who burned her father alive. On July 25th, 2023, Megan was found guilty of murder. The judge on the case believed that because of Megan's age, she didn't realize what she had done, so she only sentenced her a 1-year sentence. While on parole, she would have to undergo a mental health assessment every 6 months. Megan would also be fitted for a GPS tracking device, have a strict curfew of 9 p.m., and this probation period would end in July of 2028.
I mean, I get it, little girl. You didn't want to miss your hair appointment, so you murdered your father over it. But let me tell you something, though. Ain't no hair salons in jail. So, you about to miss all your appointments. Anyways, y'all, video's over. That was kind of creepy and weird. I do be preferring the funny ones, but anyways, this episode is over. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one, and like always, don't miss me too much. I'll always be back. This is only the beginning. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, and thank you for your time. See you on the next one. Peace out, y'all.